1984, the Waterboys released Big Music, a taster single from the forthcoming LP A Pagan Place. While the song's rousing urgency pointed to the sound of the album itself, its title provided a handy new signifier for a prominent new strain of epic rock. The Big Music swiftly became an umbrella term for a number of bands with one hand on their heart and the other fisting towards the sky. U2, Simple Minds, The Alarm, Big Country, the Waterboys, and a few more. Forged from the ruins of punk, they were now fashioning a more declarative brand of music whose chief weapons were big guitars and soaring vocals. The growing style was haughtily described by the Waterboys Mike Scott as a metaphor for seeing God's signature in the world. Scott's songs certainly came loaded with a lot of spiritual ruminations, as did those of U2 and The Alarm, who both salted their lyrics with Christian symbolism, but most of all, this was earnest, passionate rock that aimed to turn live shows into a vast communal experience. Now, Big Music owes a lot of its sound to Steve Lillywhite, who produced 3 of its key albums in 1983 to 1984, who predate the Waterboys. The actual canon list of Big Music bands is very small, and considering bands like Liverpool's Echo and the Bunnymen, America's The Call, or Australia's Midnight Oil as part of the regional scene is a bit of a stretch. However, other bands closer to the Celtic geography that attempted the sound and failed to succeed are notable, but otherwise lack the impact. Many other bands also discussed for their inclusion in the years since post facto. Nonetheless, this is a scene and a sound that has an enduring legacy. So a couple notes I want you to take from here. Echo and the Bunnymen was originally included with this group. However, there's many good reasons why that needs to be examined a little bit differently than the rest of these bands. In 1983, when U2 and Simple Minds were on their way up, it was easy that Echo and the Bunnymen was sort of swept up with this stadium rock. But if you look at it, while the cutter might fit what was going on in the sound, they saw what was going on. They saw what the press was saying about them being lumped in with U2 and Simple Minds. And then they put out The Ocean Rain as a counter to that and going in a different direction. When you look at Steve Lillywhite and his contribution, you've got U2's War, 1983, followed by Big Country, The Crossing in 1983. And then you have Simple Minds' Sparkle in the Rain, which came out in 1984 by Steve Lillywhite as well. Now, while U2 eventually moved on to Brian Eno, and he became their producer, they continued that sound in through Joshua Tree. And Simple Minds finally broke through as well in America. And you can throw in Midnight Oil with their Diesel and Dust album in 1987, just as the sound was sort of petering out. But again, it really depends on what characteristics you use to define the big sound. These rock anthems with an uplifting sound, heavy drums, synth pads, even U2 use synth pads as sort of the backing of a lot of their songs during the 80s. You have these edgy guitars, you have these borderline Christian lyrics, you have this Celtic sound or origins with these Irish bands, political messaging, and then Steve Lillywhite production is obviously a huge part of how this all started out.